Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Fast Track to 7 a.m. here on the Valley today. I'm Ashlyn Hill.
And I'm Alex Larson. We're continuing to follow breaking news this morning out of Jamestown after a house explosion early this morning.
That call coming in just after 1:30 a.m. to 545 First Street West. Now take a look at your screen. This was the scene early this morning. According to Jamestown Fire, officials on the scene say the cause of the explosion is unknown at this time. They say they don't even know if it came from inside or outside the home.
Officials say one person was taken to the hospital, but we do not know their condition right now. You can stick with Valley News Live as we continue to follow this developing story.
Lately, potential police misconduct has been getting a lot of attention, whether it's the detainment of Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill in national coverage over the weekend, or incidents closer to home, including two people claiming that they were victims of over-aggressive policing while they say they were helping a victim of a shooting in downtown Fargo.
Valley News Team's Ethan Kramer spoke with police and a local defense attorney about how these types of situations happen, your rights, and the police perspective. He's got the details in this VNL investigation.
Officers never go into a situation intending to use force.
That was Captain Chris Helmick with the Fargo Police Department speaking about the use of force on the job. Well, the video on your screen shows a Fargo police officer taking an individual to the ground. Fargo PD says their officers are trained to use the least amount of force that is reasonable when dealing with a situation.
When they go into a situation where they have to use force, is use the minimal amount of force that's reasonable. That's the legal guideline, and that's what we try to follow.
Attorney Jennifer Braun for Alland Law Firm says the importance of recording an interaction with police goes a long way because it may protect a person's rights.
Record, because that will, later on, it'll protect that person's rights.
Sunday, Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill was detained and forcefully taken to the ground by Miami-Dade police.
I'm glad you brought up the Tyreek Hill incident.
Braun thinks that the officer handled it incorrectly and escalated things too quickly.
I don't know that it was so much about his behavior, suspicious criminal activity, reluctance to comply immediately with the officer's commands. He was on the edge of invoking his rights, and he wasn't rolling over, so to speak.
Captain Helmick thinks it's in the best interest of a citizen to just comply with the officer during a situation. And if the citizen doesn't like how the officer handled it, they can reach out to the department because they say they take those complaints very seriously.
The officer starts asking them to do something or telling them to do something. Best at that moment just to do what they're asking or telling them to do, because there's probably a good reason behind that. But at the end of that, if there's a question about why the officer had them do that, or there's a complaint about how the officer handled that, we want to know that.
Braun says if someone thinks they have been assaulted by an officer and think they have evidence, she says to consult with a lawyer sooner than later.
There are statutes of limitations with these types of cases, so it's always sooner the better. And they can work with that attorney to determine whether or not that they would have a viable claim to pursue, basically. Absolutely. They need to know what their rights would be with respect to that situation.
In Fargo, Ethan Kramer, Valley News Live.
Attorney Jennifer Braun says these types of cases involving excessive force can be, quote, tricky because officers do have qualified immunity, which makes it tough to possibly hold an officer accountable. Turning our attention now to the forecast on our Thursday, another hot day here across the valley.
Yeah, we're also expecting some wind that will hopefully blow some of that wildfire smoke out of here. For the details, let's send things on over to meteorologist Lisa Green. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yes, that is the hope. We can get that smoke out of here, what's left of it, and breathe in some fresher air, even if it's hot air coming our way. Here's a look outside in Fargo. You can see that we've got a little haze near the surface, but visibility is better today. We can see some of that sunrise showing there as well, the colors from the sunrise as that sun gets ready to come up here. Now after 7 a.m., yes, we've entered 7 a.m. plus sunsets at this time of year. And taking a look at our latest air quality index, you can see no oranges or red on the map. So that is a good sign. We are seeing more moderate air quality right now, and even some places in the green on the map. And so green means good. That's what we want. But there are some spots still in that moderate range. I can't rule out, maybe dipping into that unhealthy for some range from time to time today. But this is a big improvement from being in the red like a lot of us were. So seeing that improved, and with that south wind kicking in, that helps to just kind of disperse that smoke that settles settled in the valley. So here's a look at what to expect in our near surface smoke forecast. You can see some concentrations in the blue and the green area, and that's more on that lower end of that scale. And even as we make our way through the day today, more of that clears. Now, I can't rule out with that south wind, maybe some smoke kind of backwashing into the valley here heading into Friday, but I don't expect to have high concentrations of smoke. We just may not be completely clear from it in the next 2 days. Looking at our visibility, that's been a big factor. Southern Valley looks really good. Just Oaks at 5 miles visibility right now. Northern Valley, it's a little bit different. Langdon is at a half-mile visibility, so we may be dealing with a little bit of fog and maybe a smoke combo there as we're working on clearing that out. Visibility may be worse in surrounding areas between these reporting sites. We're down to 2 miles in Roseau. So watching a few of these sites in the Northern Valley, but a big improvement from yesterday. And checking out our temperatures, we're in the 60s, 66 in Fargo, 65 in Grand Forks. That wind turning southerly or southeasterly, that's going to again help to warm us up, and that wind's going to be on the strong side with pretty much dry conditions out at the bus stop for much of the day today. A look at our bus stop planner. Temperatures 60s in the morning, not bad, and feeling a little toasty and a little breezy this afternoon. We'll see wind speeds getting into the 20s, but gusts will be topping 40 miles per hour, especially in eastern North Dakota where we have that wind advisory later today. Otherwise, sunshine and warm. Tomorrow's the day where we're watching out for rain and thunder, so if you've got some plans to be out and about on Thursday, especially Thursday afternoon and evening, check back with us. You can always check for the latest on the VNL weather app.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. When it comes to tobacco use in youth, there's some good news and some bad news.
Yeah, recently released survey data now shows that e-cigarette use has declined in this age group, but now there's a growing concern for another form of nicotine that's seeing a rise in sales.
Mandy Gaither has more on the concern and what parents can do to help kids avoid tobacco.
It's a highly addictive substance that's especially dangerous to young people. Nicotine can be found in all tobacco products.
But it can also harm the developing adolescent brain and also prime the brain for addiction to other drugs. And so it's critically important that youth aren't exposed to these products.
Data from a newly released survey shows a nearly 25% drop in students reporting e-cigarette use the past year. That's about 500,000 fewer youth using the devices, bringing the rate down to the lowest it's been in a decade.
We still have 1.6 million kids who are using these products, but it's still a very important win.
But there's a growing concern about nicotine pouches, which are small and dissolvable and placed between the lip and gum. Experts say sales have been rising since 2016.
We're going to continue to monitor use and also do everything we can to make sure that we do not see any further rises with regard to these products in future years.
To help prevent tobacco use, the American Lung Association says parents should talk to children about the health dangers and the unpleasant physical aspects like bad breath, discolored teeth, and nails. Give them clear, consistent messages about the risks, making them aware of all the products this includes, and set a good example by not smoking or using tobacco in any form. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The American Lung Association says if your teen is using tobacco products, to avoid making threats or ultimatums. Instead, the organization says to find out why your child has chosen to smoke or vape and talk about what changes can be made in their life to help them stop using the products altogether.
And we're continuing our coverage this morning on the dispute between Essentia Health and the city of Fosston.
Yeah, an arbitration panel has now ruled in favor of Essentia, finding the health organization operated the Fosston Hospital within the requirements of the affiliation agreement that was signed with the city back in 2009.
Some in the region had been upset Essentia pulled birthing services from the hospital as a cost-cutting measure, and they were looking for other healthcare options.
This ruling means that Essentia will continue to operate the hospital, clinic, assisted living, and long-term care facilities in Fosston, as well as clinics in Bagley and Oakley.
Local organizations are using art to make a meaningful impact.
It's all made possible thanks in part to grants from the Arts for All program.
And that's where we find the Valley Today's Morgan Drake this morning, live at Aptitude Creative Studios, with the details on how these grants are benefiting the community and the power of art. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, ladies. Yeah, so I'm here at the Kirkwood Mall, actually, with Anna Johnson, who is a local artist who's put up a mural that a lot of our viewers may have actually seen already. So, Anna, can you just tell me where that mural is and what its significance is?
Yeah, the mural is on Main on the International Market, and the significance is just community building. Like, I just want to bring everybody together, especially since it's for the International Market, which is a great, vast community.
And I understand that you have a little bit of history with that mural itself. So why did you put that mural up in that spot?
Well, actually, it had gotten defaced, and they put a call out for artists to do another mural. So I actually missed the first call out, and they ended up doing another one, and I applied for it then, and I got it.
And how did the Arts Partnership Grant positively impact your ability to put a mural up in this community?
Well, funding art is very costly, and I think without that funding, we wouldn't have been able to complete the mural. Every bit of money that we get, that we bring in for stuff like this, helps every artist.
And can you just briefly describe what the mural looks like for our viewers who may not have seen it?
Yeah, it's 3 circles. In the circles, each one of them has like a scene from a market. So there's a Moroccan spice market, there's a mandala in the middle, and then there's a European market, and then there's some African florals, some Chinese lotus blossom, and some Ojibwa floral.
So you really wanted to bring that international community together in one piece of art. That's really incredible. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Anna. And coming up next, I'll have interviews with a person from Choice Bank who is actually in partnership with the Arts Partnership for these grants. So until then, I'm Morgan Drake with Valley News Live. Back to you at the desk.
All right, beautiful. Thank you for that creative live look this morning, Morgan.
And it's a big deal, and it's happening in Grand Forks today. The world's largest French fry feed happening tonight at University Park as part of Potato Bowl week.
Potato Bowl events continue tomorrow, too, with the Get Wet and Run Wild Run. That's tomorrow night. And then Saturday with the parade and UND's matchup against Idaho State.
And if you're looking for a place to watch the game or just looking for some good food, the new Brutus Brick House location is now open.
The sports bar closed their doors in August to reopen its current location in West Fargo. Brutus Brick House reopened in the former Stone Town Grill building off of 32nd Avenue in West Fargo.
Gonna have to check that one out.
Well, the Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on.
Yeah, more live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up right now on the Fargo CW. But thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, have a great rest of your day, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the Valley Today. I'm Ashlyn Hill.
I'm Alex Larson. We'll see you back here tomorrow.